Hi friends, today I'm going to talk about 5 top ways to build trust in team. Now, if you try and understand team building practices are most effective learning approach that enhances communication among the teammates and it also helps us to improve the morale of the team, including performance and productivity. The amount of impact which team building can do is significant, but ensuring that this happens every time with our own team is always a challenging task. And that's where the role of leader comes into picture. Coming to the first principle of building trust within the team, I personally feel that a blame game is something which we need to avoid within the team. So if there is a situation where we are very clear that something has gone wrong, rather than pointing finger at each other, we should try to think about coming up with some solution that can probably help in order to overcome the existing challenge which we have. In a simple way, this usually occurs whenever there is some failure. Everybody is okay when things goes right. Challenges comes into picture when things are not the way we have expected it, and that's where shifting the blame to some party or probably telling any individual that you are solely responsible for what has gone wrong, and that's where the role of leader comes into picture to ensure that this has to be completely avoided. As a leader, it is your duty that every due diligence that needs to happen should happen in your presence. But if something goes wrong, then definitely nobody should be taking that blame except you as a leader. And the moment you start showing that as a nature, then obviously that helps us to get good amount of trust within the team. The second principle that helps to build trust is communicating the intent and not just tell them, but ensure why we are doing what we are doing. So, an honest conversation is needed with regard to this topic. And when it comes to honest conversation, the amount of transparency that we have within our team will ensure that team will have an openness within the culture among themselves. So when we are talking about a delegation of certain tasks to someone, then we need to be absolutely clear with respect to whether we are delegating the task to the right person. Did he understand why this task has come to him? What is the expectation from this task? What he can do in order to ensure that this task gets successfully completed? Does he have all the required skill set to complete that task? Is there any kind of help that is needed for him to take care of this task? Ensuring that we convey this entire thing to the person and understand his comfort level and ensure that he is equally alive the way we are with respect to the task in terms of the reasoning why the task is important for the team in order to complete. Another very important point when it comes to building trust is speaking less and listening more. Now, it is a human nature that when we are talking, we are obviously not listening. And that's where, when we want to build that trust, the first thing which we look at is to ensure that we let the other person speak their mind and genuinely listen to what that person is talking. Now, I'm not saying that everything the person is going to say would be right or wrong, but only thing which I'm trying to convey here is ensure that the other person feels very clearly that he has been heard and the intent of his talk has exactly created the same impact which he wanted to create. The moment that happens, at least this person takes some amount of trust within us that this person has heard me well. And that's where listening more, speaking less helps. There would be some time wherein like he may try to put some allegation on us as an individual, saying that probably this has happened because of you and stuff like that. And it is at that particular specific point in time, we need to be very, very silent, listen to him completely in case if he is trying to show some kind of frustration, let him vent that frustration fully, because the moment that entire thing comes out of his mind, he will become much more amicable in order to listen what we have to convey. The fourth top principle in order to build team trust is appreciate. And when it comes to appreciation, something which is very important is ensure that you are appreciating something and a work done by that individual or by the team in a very genuine way. It has to be very clearly pointed out what is that appreciation for. So the person always tries to do more of it. It has to create that motivation within the individual that okay, this contribution has been given some credit for. And it's not the case the other person is anchoring for the credit that has to be given. But the moment we start appreciating what other person has done, we are kind of inviting more such work from him. And obviously, like the paycheck can be increased up to a certain level, but the job satisfaction really comes with respect to how much recognition, how much reward, how much appreciated an individual feels in day-to-day course of time. The last point, when it comes to team building, it's very, very crucial, and it is with a heading saying absolute no to micromanagement. The moment you take anybody as a part of your team, please ensure that you trust them fully. You have explained them the task, but rather than micromanaging, you macromanage them and let them be very clear that you are always there to support them. But it's not that you are there only to check the status of how the progress is going. Ensure that you give enough time and space for the other person to complete the thing. Let him go as per the commitment which he has agreed, and then look for a need. If he feels some kind of help is needed, try extending the help. But the moment you start checking on the status on every now and then, the other person will feel that okay, this person is micromanaging me, so definitely there is some gap in terms of trust building. Trust is very, very important and significant parameter in the workplace. Team is made, and probably if the team does not have trust within themselves, they get broken without fail. So it's an important parameter to have. Employees are very proud of wherever they work and the amount of trust an organization has on that individual, or having the trust within the team, how much is the part of the culture is very, very important. So let's try to make it as a part of our day-to-day culture. Ensure that people are mutually respected, and obviously trust is important. Thank you so much.